Hello and welcome back to Bible Basics. If it's your first time here, I want to start Bible Basics as a resource for new believers. While I love the church and I think it's great, I feel like for new believers it can be very daunting because you go to a service and you're not really understanding what's going on or who these characters are, where these stories are coming from. So that's why I want to start Bible Basics to really give you that information, that background, and give you some commentary. We're going through the whole Bible. So right now we're reading Matthew 15:28 through 29. Jesus feeds the 4,000. A little background on Matthew. So Matthew is the author. He's one of the 12 disciples. So he has a first-hand account of Jesus. His intended audience was a Jewish audience to convince him that Jesus was the Messiah. So he will quote the Old Testament frequently to back up his claims. In this chapter, Jesus in the middle of his ministry, he's gaining popularity, but he's gaining enemies just as quickly. I'm trying something new where I'm going to read the whole section, then I'm going to break it down on the verses that I want to highlight. So let's read. Jesus feeds the 4,000. Jesus left there and went along the Sea of Galilee. Then he went up on the mountainside and sat down. Great crowds came to him, bringing the lame, the blind, and the crippled, the mute, and many others, and laid them at his feet, and he healed them. The people were amazed when they saw the mute speaking, the crippled made well, the lame walking, and the blind seeing, and they praised the God of Israel. Jesus called his disciples to him and said, I have compassion for these people. They have already been with me for 3 days and have nothing to eat. I do not want to send them away hungry, or they may collapse on the way. His disciples answered, Where could we get enough bread in this remote place to feed such a crowd? How many loaves do you have? Jesus asked. 7, they replied, and a few small fish. He told the crowd to sit down on the ground. Then he took the 7 loaves and the fish, and he had given thanks. He broke them and gave them to the disciples, and they in turn to the people. They all ate and were satisfied. Afterward, the disciples picked up 7 basketfuls of broken pieces that were left over. The number of those who ate was 4,000 men, besides women and children. After Jesus sent the crowd away, he got into the boat and went to the vicinity of Magadan. I want to focus on 3 verses, the first one being verse 31. The people were amazed when they saw the mute speaking, the crippled made well, the lame walking, and the blind seeing, and they praised the God of Israel. Where God is, there will be healing. God will heal the part of us that need to be healed, whether that's emotionally, spiritual, or sometimes physical. For me, what God healed more than anything is the ability of me to love myself. I didn't love myself. I hated myself who I was as a person. I was always trying to be someone I wasn't. I was trying to impress people that didn't matter. I was trying to live a different lifestyle that didn't suit who I was. And so when I came to God, he healed every single part of me where I became whole. I became complete. I started to love myself. I started to care for who I was as a person. God gave me so much purpose in my life. And so that's why I love doing these videos, because I want to share that same feeling that I got, the same feeling that I feel every day, that whenever I feel closest to God, I feel more complete. And I want to share that to the whole world. I want everyone to feel what I feel. Obviously, God will give you a choice. It's up to you if you want to follow Jesus. It's not God's never going to force you to do it. The next verse is verse 33. His disciples answered, Where could we get enough bread in this remote place to feed such a crowd? For context, Jesus had made this miracle happen already. He had fed 5,000 people, 5,000 men, not including women and children. So he had done this miracle before. His disciples had seen him do this miracle before. Yet when the time came, when the going got tough, they didn't know what to do. Jesus was right in front of them. The same person who had did the same miracle could do it again, and he did do it again. But sometimes we need to be reminded of God's power and what he does in our life. Life can get hectic, life can get hard, life can be unpredictable. But God always comes through for us in those moments, and he'll remind us of who he is and what he's capable of. And the last verse I want to highlight is verse 37. They all ate and were satisfied. Afterwards, the disciples picked up 7 basketfuls of broken pieces that were left over. 7 basketfuls were left over. They had 7 loaves, and they had 7 basketfuls left over. Almost like to remind them, hey, what you said couldn't be done, what you didn't believe, here it is. Here is the remnant of what you didn't believe in. I think Jesus used as a reminder to his disciples that, hey, I can do this, and here's proof of what I can do. These are all the leftovers. I feel like that just speaks to me like, hey, we need to trust God. I know God's been working on that with me where I need to trust him more. And I feel like now that I trust him more, I feel a little bit safer, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like God's got my back. I feel like I'm going to be okay. No matter when hardships do come my way, it kind of changes my mentality a little bit. Like, oh, God's doing something. This has a purpose. I'm gonna be okay. Kind of gives me like a sense of relief. All right, so that's it for Matthew 15. We finished the whole chapter. It took us 3 videos. We're gonna tackle Matthew 16 next time. If you have any questions, comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.